What's up, everyone? Today we have a PB-500H. It's a fairly common machine in my area, as you can tell. This is like, I don't know, number 8 this year. And this one, the owner says, runs, does not idle. And he'd like it to idle, and when it does run, it runs very poorly. Now, unfortunately, I've worked on this person's machines for a decent amount of time. That's not the unfortunate part. The unfortunate part is his employee, or A's, I don't know. I don't want to say kind of make up problems, but they pretty much don't like using certain things, so this kind of sits off in a wayside, and yeah. So, very first thing when we look at something that doesn't idle right, or doesn't run right in general, is the fuel. So I'm going to look at the fuel real quick. We're going to pour some out, look at the color. It's either going to be decently red, or it's going to be hopefully a lighter blue. Green, that's bad. Brownish, that's bad. No color at all, or just straight up yellow, that's even worse. So let's take a look at the fuel. I'm pretty much guaranteed to spill some, so beware. On the side over here, it does say mixed fuel, so that's at least good. Because I have worked on one of this person's machines where either the same employee or a different employee with the same work mindset put fuel in and put in the straight fuel. We just need a taste. We don't need to take out the whole thing yet. So that's pretty light blue. I think that should be fine. I don't think the fuel is 100% the problem here. At least I don't know. Let's take a look at the air filter, because the air filter has more dirt than filter. That could potentially be a problem. In all likelihood, the chances of us having to take this carb off and cleaning it is fairly significant. So there's that. But if we can find the original or the real problem, yeah, that's like brand new. Okay. So far, the fuel looks to be fine. The air filter looks to be fine. So I'm going to put you off to the side. We're going to turn it on and we're going to see what exactly is happening here. Watch, it doesn't even start. So this is on choke right now. The primer bulb doesn't feel all that bad. Let's move those. This is theoretically adjustable, but the screws on here are very, very difficult. They're very, very small, requires a special tool. So we're going to hope that's not part of the problem. We're going to have it on medium. See what happens. Is that That's not good noises. Immediately I saw this was out of its place, but I didn't think that was going to be too much of a problem. decent compression. It kind of sounds like it's rubbing on something though. I mean, technically it's just supposed to be like that. So if that was the problem. Oh no, it's not. I'm going to put some oil down the cylinder and see if it's coming from the actual cylinder itself. Took the plug out. This is Marvel. Gonna put a healthy supply in there. We're going to spin it over a little bit. That's a very concerning noise. I'm thinking the fan or something fell off the back, perhaps? I don't know. I'm going to take off the pull start and see if there's something wrong in there before we go too crazy. Let's see. Pull start's off. I mean, obviously, I don't think it's the pull start itself, but maybe there's something in here. No. Very weird. So that's where it should be. That's still making a noise. So it's not like something's misaligned. What do we want to do here? What do we want to do? What do we want to do? I say we give it a pull and see what happens. It's either going to be a very stupid idea or a not so stupid idea. Let's see. The plug is in. It's on choke. The more and more I hear this, the more and more I say it's trashed. It just sounds like it's coming from inside the cylinder, and it's not wanting to start. That could be part of the no idle problem right there. Coincidentally, to idle a machine, the machine has to be in semi-working condition. The plug's not fouled, so if the carb was working correctly, which I'm told it is, we should have gotten at least something. So let's find out. What we're going to do is we're going to do a compression test. Now, I should have done this without putting oil in it, but we are going to take the choke off, full throttle it. Can't be any higher. Let's give it a pull. $120. That should be fine. So we might have a carb cleaning and unknown weird noise. But like I said, that is a wet reading. The dry reading very well could be like 80. You know, it changes. I don't know if this is flammable. Yes, it is. Okay. It's like I know the green one has no chlorine, but Never really looked and see if it was flammable. CRC is making a carb cleaner that is non-flammable. Ask me how I know that one. Let's see if it continues to run, or at least starts. That sounded horrible. Horrible. Well, with you still here, let's do the same thing. It's like 19 degrees outside and my hands are frozen, so yeah. I use pliers to take off the spark plug loop. It may look nice outside, but it's not. Try this again. Full throttle. It's definitely a lot lower. It's like 120. Well, not a lot lower. Never mind. It was 130 before. It's about 125. But there's still probably oil in there. I think I can see oil. So there's... Let's see here. I'm going to give you the opportunity to figure this one out. Do you want to use the scope and see if we can find anything, or do we use the tried and true method of just taking the muffler off and having to remove this whole cover? Think about your selection, and then we'll be right back. Unfortunately, I was trying to use a scope. As you can tell, I apologize for not having it. Whoa, my gosh. Anyway, I apologize for having you looking at, on your screen, another screen, but that's basically what we're going to get. I just want to show that there's really not a whole lot on there. I see a whole lot of pitting. Like, that is not the cylinder wall. Excuse me, that is not the top of the cylinder. This is the top of the cylinder. This is the cylinder wall. And I think that could be a ring. Or it could just be the... Never mind, it's a transfer shaft or a port. I'm just looking at the wrong angle. Okay, that's good. But that looks very bad. Very, very bad. As much as I don't want to do this, I might have to just take off the cover and do it the old-fashioned way too, just to verify this. So hopefully you can see. Probably can't. Let me grab a flashlight. But yeah, the piston itself isn't great. It's not horrible, but it's not great. Now, when I pull the engine over, I want you to take a look at the color here. See how it's super black? Like, you're not looking at a shadow. It's super black. And then you see that white line coming by? That's the ring. There is a whole lot of blow-by. A lot of blow-by. And that's not good. Then, this I don't think you're going to be able to see. I shined a light in there. Maybe I could try doing this. Well, you have to take my word for it. I shined a light in there, and there is a whole lot of scarring on the other end, on the actual cylinder head. So this engine is pretty much trash, unfortunately. So I think the noises that we saw were, or heard, I guess you can't really see noises, at least I can't, but it was just a horrible engine. Like, it's just scraping in there. It's very, potentially there's so much carbon buildup in there. The rings are kind of held into place by carbon, and maybe the carbon over time starting to break free, and especially when you're running it, it will break free and start to scrape it up. Moral of the story is, I could take off the side, I could do a whole lot of work trying to find that noise. Pretty sure it's the cylinder, and I looked inside there. When I looked inside there, there's a whole lot of oil. I don't know if you mentioned or saw that, but there's a whole lot of oil in there. So I bet if we didn't put oil in there, that would be a whole lot less compression. I'm thinking like 80 or 90, if that. This is a prime candidate for a rebuild. Could you save this cylinder? I don't know. I'd have to take it apart to take a look at it. If it's super deep, no. If just surface scratches, probably. If it's but either way, that's not going to be happening in this video. I might redo this one. I will have to talk to the owner and see what he says, but I don't think he's going to want to spend the amount of money, because for a full rebuild, oh, I don't know. Let's see. So potentially bad news. If it was just the piston and I could hone out the cylinder, it would be for aftermarket one, which I've used before and actually are pretty decent. It's like, I forget the name, like Red something. It's about $32. That's not bad. It comes with the piston. The rings, I think that's it. It might come with some additional hardware. I don't remember if it's a whole thing. It doesn't have the connecting rod or anything like that. Or you can get the whole assembly minus the connecting rod and the crank, and that's $160. I called the owner and he does not want to spend $160 on just that. He asked me what I thought about doing the piston. I said it's a 50-50 shot. He doesn't, I don't know. Even if it does work, I don't know how long it's going to last. Inside here, there should be a coating, and when you kind of wear that around, or let's say there's like one bad scrape, or there's a whole lot of what ifs going on there. It might work for a day, it might work for a month, it might work for 10 more years. Considering it's used commercially though, not a good idea. This, in my opinion, should not be used commercially. It's pretty small, but commercial's got a commercial. Having said that, unfortunately, I think we have reached the end of this. This engine is too far gone. It will work in high throttle from what he tells me. I'm not going to test that because I don't want to be the one to have this explode on them. So we might rebuild this engine, we might not. If he doesn't want to do anything and he just wants to recycle it, I usually ask him if it's okay if I recycle it, and he usually says yes. I give him full aware knowledge that I will be taking parts off of it and trying to see if I can use it for something else. I say that because I do have a PB-500T leaf blower chilling in the side of my house for the last couple months that has a bad piston, but the cylinder wall appears to be fine. I didn't take it off or anything, of course, but it appears to be fine. So we might be able to swap them over. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. But anyway, this is the end of this one. It's a quick little video. Basically, at this point in time, you have to ask yourself, is $160 worth it? $160 probably would actually fix this problem, that is for sure. I don't suspect there's a problem with a connecting rod or crankshaft or anything. But, are you going to be fixing this up and selling it? If you had to pay, let's say, $40 for it and you paid $160 plus your time, you better be making at least $300 on this machine. And I don't know about you, but this is not selling for $300, at least not now. Potentially you might get someone lucky in the fall time. This is almost spring. Even though it's 18 degrees outside, the calendar says it's almost spring. So it's not going to be a high active item to repair and or buy. So don't know about this one. But here we go. If you have any questions, or if you think there's something else wrong or whatnot, leave a comment below. Love to hear your opinion, and we'll take it from here. If you would have done something different, or if you have any questions on why we're coming to this conclusion, like I said, leave a comment. Definitely subscribe. Follow me on Small Engine 101 on Instagram, and I'll catch you on the next video. Have a good day.